How to get your ex-spouse to change their last name. You don't. You don't, guys and women. Most people keep the last name for the children and their protection and so on. And if they remarry, they do what they want. My ex-wife, that's Colombian, South America, they keep the maiden names, the marriage names. I think she had 4 or 5 names. When I finally married her, I didn't even realize that. They didn't realize they kept multiple names. You know, maiden names, marriage names, and so on. Here's the problem. She's got my name now. Let me explain. In your MSA, when you're in the process of getting divorced, they're going to ask the question of the ex-spouse. In my case, it's a woman. They're going to ask her, hey, are you going to keep your last name? Oh, yeah, I'm going to keep my last name. I don't want to change my license. I don't want to change this, and I don't want to change that. Even though I want her to change it. Okay, now, MSA stands for Marital Settlement Agreement. It's a contract. You got to meet that. Before you sign, this is what I mean. Even if you go pro se, you get everything in an agreement. It's kind of like a prenup. You got to get cooperation. And it's really difficult. But what people don't realize, that MSA that's like a federal rule. It's a law. It's like a constitution. You can't change it. And if you infringe on it, do anything illegal, or not meet a payment, or not meet one of the clauses that you promised that you were going to do, it's called contempt of court. They will throw you in fucking jail. Here's the problem. They're going to call attorneys. They're going to make it really difficult for you. But this is about the name change. I am completely done with the MSA. I've met all the obligations. No more liabilities. I asked for a settlement, which is called a settlement of judgment. It's just one form, Form 14 here in the state of Florida. I met with a mediator to help me fill it out, which he did. He said, but Rock, I can't file it for you. Either an attorney needs to file it or you got to go pro se. So I started thinking, well, you know what? I sent it to be served to her through email. No response. And there's a reason why there's no response. Because they want to keep it alive, just in case I die. It's still an open policy. Even though they say it's closed, the court says it's closed. Believe me, you could be challenged on anything. That's why I always talk about documentation, man. Documentation. And it's not because of emails. I'll start my car here. It's not about emails. It's about documentation and motions to the court and getting a sign off by a judge in your jurisdiction. That's how important it is. In my MSA, there's a clause, an article that says if I passed away prior to my lump sum payments over 3 years, she would have access to go to my estate and my children upon my death and say, hey, your dad didn't pay this. Well, guess what? I beat the system. Everything's paid. So I'm looking for this document because I've been in business for 50 years. We would call it a judgment, a settlement of judgment, and then you'd sign off into an agreement. It's a release that everything's been taken care of. Here's the documentation. And of course, that's all through lawyers and signatures. Okay? I contacted the clerk of court, they call it, here in Florida, Palm Beach County. And asked them, first of all, I emailed it to them because that was the process. Then I followed up about a week later and I found out through friends, Rock, it's never going to get through. They've never sent the confirmation. My ex-wife didn't send a confirmation. They're missing in action now, right? So I called the office. I called a friend of mine that deals with the clerk of court all the time. She told me who the new judge is. Here's a new judge. and who the paralegal is for that judge. Okay? They call it the clerk, I guess. All right? So I call the clerk of this judge. She says, well, I can't say anything. I can't do anything. However, emails, you're never going to get through. You're going to have to email or meet with the help desk. What's the help desk? The help desk is a walk-in. You can walk in and go pro se and start filling out some paperwork. And I'm thinking, God, it's going to take forever. And I'm going to move out of the country, hopefully, in the next 2 years. I don't want to have any issues with the state of Florida and ex-wives. I want everything documented. Or if upon my death, I don't want my kids dealing with my identity. Nobody. I got my own identity, which I'm proud of. Okay? So, in the meantime, I contacted 3 attorneys. And every one of them said, Rock, you're never going to get the name changed. It's not worth it. And nobody really wants to take it on because what's it going to cost? $500 to file this? They don't want to take it on. They don't want to take it on. But guess what I got? I got some good advice. I got it in email, which is good. So I even call my estate planner. I have an estate. I have a trust. I'm a single guy for many years. I'm 71 years old, and I do have an estate. Okay? I have some retirement funds. I have a home. I got a few other things that, upon my death, this is what I want done. Okay? My wishes. But this is hot. I'm still got it on my head like, oh my God. The prenup did not work. It was like it wasn't filed. It wasn't done right. I mean, I've already told you all these mistakes that I made. Okay? So I said, okay, I got to do this myself. So I got this email from this attorney, and he says, Rock, there's no judgment on you. You don't have to worry about anything. Don't worry about it. Oh, don't worry about it? What about that clause that they didn't read? And of course, they don't want to take it on because their name's on it. Attorneys don't want certain things either because there might be risk, there might be a lawsuit, malpractice. You never know what they're going to do. So I'm going to take his advice, though, which is go down to the help desk, file out. I went on IAI, and the bottom line is protecting my name. You can ask my ex-wife to change her name. I could ask the court. I could motion it. To me, that's a strategy. At least they have it. Even if I expect a no, at least I got it. Then I could document it with my estate planner and say, listen, I fulfilled everything. Everything's done. They're going to give me some type of declaration that has been fulfilled. But Rock, you can't change. She's got to decide to change her name. And she might someday, but she's, she's in her 60s and it's over. You see what I'm saying? She's never going to change her name. And that's the other thing. You could find out a background check. Found out she had like 20 different aliases. Okay? Aliases. That includes my last name. Okay? All right? Now, bankruptcy in her maiden name. Foreclosure in her maiden name, I don't even know. Okay? The Catholic Church considered our marriage fraudulent. That's right, fraudulent. Does the civil court care? No. What am I going to do? Fight that? I fought the prenup and they said, screw it. It wasn't valid. They contested it. Cost me 6 figures to say, fuck you, Rock. Okay? So, do I trust anything or anybody? Fuck no. And this is my saying to you. You got child support, you get a settlement that everything is paid. You got an alimony, get everything paid. Get a declaration, they call it. My brothers and my family, what are you, crazy? Hey, it's my name. And I'm going to tell you something that people can't believe. We have a family plot in Minnesota. And we have markers down, single person or married. And I had to get it exhumed. My name and her name on a marker. That's how serious I was about marriage. We go through the divorce. I had to pull it out. And my family is embarrassed, and I'm embarrassed that I married this woman. And she kept my name. Well, why did she keep my name? Because it's another opportunity to fuck up my name. Okay? When you got the IRS after you and the Social Security after you and you got tax problems and the CPA, I'm going to ask for a cease and desist. That these can discontinue. I have nothing to do with it. This clause I got to get rid of. So that's going to give me the opportunity to go in and fill out the forms and so on. I'm going to read you what AI said. Okay? To get prepared to go to the clerk of court. Got the date. Subject is pro-divorce motion for name disassociation. Declaration and name change request. That's all it is a request. I'm already knowing it's not going to happen. Unless she'll get the notice and she can't really say anything about this except that I'll get the declaration. I'll probably get everything I want. And she's not going to fight it. Why would she fight it? But somebody's got to be on notice, including the court. So I had AI spit out something for me for now, an overview. Here's what it says. Dear Clerk of Court, I am submitting this letter in person to request assistance regarding a post-divorce matter involving legal identity disassociation and the protection of my estate and registered name, my trademark. I am Rock LaManna, an author, business strategist, and public figure with a registered trademark and legacy brand. I was previously married to, let's call her Karen. Karen in this case. I was previously married to Karen. Our marriage was dissolved under a marital settlement agreement dated April 13th, 2023. There were no children, no shared business holdings, and all obligations were paid in full on May 1st, 2025. I can provide documented proof of this along with a letter notifying the former spouse. Despite the dissolution, Karen continues to use my name over 15 years since our marriage and maintains public and financial ties to it. She has a history of financial liabilities, including IRS debts, liens, and over 20 aliases on her credit report. Notably, during the Catholic annulment process, the Catholic Church found there was fraud involved in our marriage. Additionally, I was held in contempt of court over a misdirected mailing and penalized $2,500. I have all that documentation too, and receipts. Furthermore, I reviewed our MSA and believe Article 6 may state that if I had died before making the final payment, she would have a right to pursue my estate. This underscores my concern. I want complete legal separation and no further connection to her name-wise or financially during life or after death. I am requesting, number 1, a post-judgment motion of declaration affirming that Karen has no legal or financial claim against my estate now or in the future. Number 2, a formal record that I am a public figure and registered name, and any association with my name should be severed to protect my legacy. 3, a request to the court, if allowable, to restore her maiden name, given the circumstances and history of a fraud and misuse. Please let me know what forms, motions, or declarations I may file pro se to move this forward. I'm ready to sign and file any documentation needed to ensure my name and estate are protected. Sincerely, my name. This would be associated with elder law, too, in the state of Florida. Because I'm an old man, okay? Interesting stuff I'm passing on to everybody. I'm still in the rat race, man, trying to make sure my name is okay. First thing I'm going to do is file to irs.gov for the Identity Protection PIN, PIN program. irs.gov / IP PIN, PIN protection. It's basically securing your identity. People lose credit cards, licenses, and everything. It's getting only worse. It's only getting worse, everybody. And you don't want an ex-wife or an ex-spouse claiming anything at any time. That's how important documentation is. I'm willing to get an attorney to do it, but nobody wants to do it. Why? It's the filing. It's like $200. The help desk will do it for free. Yeah, it's my time, but look what it's going to do. It's going to save my current, my future, and they're going to put her on record. That's a huge record, man. All this is hidden. And for her to find even a job today, that's why she's probably not working. So this is very important stuff. I'm going really deep, and this is post-divorce. So guys, women, anytime there's alimony involved or an MSA involved, which you really have to have an attorney put together, a mediator or something like that. It's not just an attorney, it's your agreement, your personal agreement, husband and wife. You've decided to do this. You don't need an attorney for that, but then you might have to get it constructed by going to self-help and get them to do it for you. Because it's law. All right? So, who knew that I would have discovered all this shit after I signed the MSA? They don't fucking care. Rock, it's your problem. Look at the attorneys don't even want to know. It's too in-depth for them. They don't want to deal with this. This is sophisticated, and you can't argue with the court. That's why this is going to be easy. It's just going to take time. But I need an advocate at the help desk. I'm going to make sure I'm bringing candy to the clerk. See what I mean? To fast track this thing. It's important. Now, there's no way she's going to contest this. I mean, how is she going to contest it? Okay? I'm just opening up the truth. She's going to hate that. Because now I'm going to have it documented. See what I mean? And then I got the balls to say, you know what? What do you want? I'll give you, what do you want? $100? I'll buy my name back. What do you want? Tell me your number. What's it going to take? This is crucial. For me, it's crucial. So I'll talk to you soon. I can't say I always bring joy because there's no joy in identity theft, right? So be careful. Prepare. Still do the right thing. You got to think forward, man. You got to think forward. I'm 71 years old. What if something happens to my mind? What if something where I die or something? I want this off my platter. And to exhume my name and embarrass my family and embarrass me that I married the wrong horse. You know what? It's bad news. And you know what's going to be interesting? Where they're going to find her. She might be in Colombia. She might not even care. What if I get lucky and get the right judge and say, this isn't right? Boom. That's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. Just ask and you shall receive. And I'm sitting there thinking, you know, you could go on YouTube, but all of them say you can't change the name, can't change. Well, guess what? Not everybody's got the same situation that I got. I got proof. Even the Catholic Church is saying there was fraudulent marriage. In my eyes, I was never married to this woman, but it took me 20 years to get rid of her. And a lot of money. You don't want to know how much. All right, so that's it. I'll talk to you soon. You know I'm going to come back, and I want to thank everybody for listening, sending comments. I got more and more. But this issue of your name, your ex-spouse changing the name, I get it. If there's children, I get it. Okay? I understand that. You hope they remarry, they change their name. I know women that had their husbands change their name to the maiden name of the woman. That's how fucked up it is, man. Why would you do something like that? I'm telling you, I'm proud of my name. I'm so proud I had it trademarked. How many Rock LaMannas are out there? Seriously. God bless you, man. I'll talk to you soon.